Hello, and welcome to one of my vlogs. I'm Yogan. So, looking at this very specific point about how when you care about how someone else views you, right? When you care about how someone views you, sees you, what they think about you, their opinion about you, that very much relates to one's own self-image, one's own self-perception, and it already assumes or necessitates the fact that you have a negative self-image of yourself. So phrasing it within my words, because I'm working with this point, my own negative image of myself, where that negative self-image has to be there, because if I am thinking about or valuing someone else's opinion about me, how they view me, what they think about me, that already assumes that I do not have a stable self-image. It also necessitates the positive polarity as well, in terms of when someone does value me or have a good opinion about me, that I then take on that positive self-image. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say about that point. But now to get actually to the next step. So within looking across my life, it's very clear that in one scenario that I consistently find I care about how someone else thinks about me is with the opposite sex, with the types of people who is like, romantic interest, who is, it could even be a stranger, and you're in the supermarket, and you see that guy or that woman, and how they, the fact that they are, let's say semi-attractive, or they're young enough, or whatever, they're at your range, if you want to call it that, then how they view you affects how you view yourself as someone who can get a suitable partner for yourself. And this also happens even if you are already with a partner, because it's about that self-image of how desirable are you to such people in the world based on, let's say, your image or presentation, or even who you are. So it's very much related to that point. And in my experience, in my life, I've seen that consistently, where when it's people who are friends, I do not have that, let's say, care. Like with guys, I don't know to care. And then, of course, with some women, I do not care because I'm not interested in them, because for whatever reason, they're too young or too old, or however you want to put it. But this isn't a judgment about people. It's about what's going on in my mind. This is a system. This is about what is actively, automatically happening in the moment. And can any of us really say that anything that comes up in our minds and how we react and move, are we really actually creating that in specificity and on purpose, with a purpose that we have set for ourselves? So this is the world we live in. We're not let's say, in directed control. We aren't directing ourselves. So this is what I'm doing here in this video, is to explain this point, something that I'm going through, because then I can remove a very specific system, which is this point of caring about how other people view me or think of me or their opinion of me. Because in this context of, if you actually are getting to know someone, a suitable partner who you actually you want to create a relationship, an agreement, and obviously you have to see a person who they are they a suitable partner for you, those kind of things. It's very practical that who you are and who you present yourself is your real self, your very natural self. Because in my experience, within relationships I've been in, and I've observed other people very consistently, is that when you like someone, you go into the point of, okay, I care about what they think of me, their opinion of me, so I'm going to adjust and change, in subtle ways, and what I see, what I say, because based on that point of caring about their opinion about me. And so we end up going to a relationship because both of us are doing this point of presenting, let's say, our best self. When, is that really yourself? Is that who you are naturally? Because when you do start the relationship and you know that, okay, it's solid, that, okay, we're together, what happens right away? What happens right away is that you do not need to put on that opinion, self-image. You do not need to no longer care about how they view you. And so then you start, saying things or doing things. You start, putting on weight, if you want to look at that point. Where if women or men who are exercising only for the point of getting a partner, and then once they get their partner, well, they stop exercising and they gain weight, for example. Or however way you may look at it, however way, it's like I can see very clearly when I, started being myself or seeing the other person suddenly change. It's like the point of, okay, who are you? Things have changed. This isn't the person that I was getting to know, So it's that point of, okay, now this is like, we can relax and, I know there's these words where like relax and put on your best self, but I mean, do you really? I mean, obviously, there's the argument, okay, you gotta put on, you don't want to share your worst self, but at the same time, don't you want to share your real self? Because we do all have realness. Do we really want to enter into a relationship with someone and not really see who they are naturally, And for me, that's what makes sense. I can imagine, with some people arguing all sorts of different things, and maybe it's just because in this practical world, not many people can really do what I'm suggesting here, which is to really be your real self with someone. Like if I were to date someone, any normal person, and with this understanding, they share like, okay, they're putting on their best self because they care about my opinion of them, then yeah, that is certainly hoops and hurdles and something you have to consider, and it is, quite a work, I suppose, a challenge, a thing to do. And that is the nature reality of our world. I mean, people are still going to form relationships, people are still going to get together and form families. And there are people who, go through these points like I'm talking about, and they do have a successful marriage or have a good relationship. It's not only about this one point. It also has to do with a lot about who you are as well. So, it's not really to judge anyone, but at least for me, my process, I've been a being. I am 28 now, soon to be 29, and for me, this point of relationships, this point of everything that I'm talking about here, it is such a nature of pain and self-torture, and just like I would do anything to stop this. And this has always been a consistent goal for me, to live this correction. No more having this point of changing who I am, going into this very self-torturous, negative self-image of myself. And when I see a woman and getting to know a woman, so I can see very clearly if I direct the points, no longer going to the point of caring about how the other person views me, their opinion of me, but just live practically with the principles of what's best for all. Be me, live that point, and just live that. Because if we don't, we all have to walk this point anyway, whether we're in a relationship now or whatever. We all have to walk our own self-image, our own self-perception, our own point of caring about how other people view you. Now, to explain this point as well, with a friend, if they were to tell me, like, let's say, here's this criticism I have for you, here's this point of view that you can change, because I do not have that reaction to them, I take in what they say, I listen to it, I use it, I check with myself and actually see if I can actually practically apply it or whether it's relevant. When it's like, let's say, a woman who's who's that interesting thing, a little flame, if they were to give me criticism, the same criticism, it'd be like, okay, I don't want to look at this point, I shut down, it's bad, I feel bad, because it's about caring about their opinion, how they view of me, how they think of me. Now, if that friend is a guy who's like, okay, fuck off, I hate you, think you're a horrible person, all these things, I'd look at it and be like, okay, because I know that that's not me, that's not my image of myself, I am not that, so that doesn't affect me. But of course, if it was like a interesting woman, then I'd be like, oh shit, I'm a horrible person, I'm bad, all these things. So there's very much a point, at least where I am at right now, very clear with, because I've been walking this process for 10 years, I definitely have a pretty solid self-image of myself, and where I know, who I am, and so with friends, it's very easy to stand, because I am standing, I'm not caring about their opinion, not taking it as, valuable in the sense of it affects my self-valuableness. But so this is a point that I see playing out in my reality, in humanity, and yeah. So the solution is to apply self-forgiveness on these points of caring about other people's opinion, about specific people's opinions, about reacting, about basically you want to get to a point where you stand in front of such people that you are valuing their opinion. I say people because this system could potentially apply to anything or anyone, right? It could be a teacher, a parent, or whoever, because systems are, are created specifically. Yeah, so you definitely want to be able to stand in front of the person, their opinion of you, and just like, okay, I know who I am, I'm standing, and I do want to better myself, so I'm going to look at what you're saying. Obviously what you're saying is just pure insults, and yeah, I'm not going to listen to that. But yeah. And that's what I have right now. That's all the points I've seen already, and so I can share very easily in a vlog here on breath. I can just share it because this is what I've seen this morning while reflecting. And what I'm going to do now is to go in deeper within my writing, with my blog right now. I'm going to put this video, attach it to my blog, and yeah. So this is one way for me to very easily, very quickly speak the points, put the points there, for both for me and for others. Very practical. Okay. So thank you very much. Have a good one.